Greetings and salutations. It's the old man down the street. It's cold. It's, I think, 10 degrees outside, something like that, which is very unusual for this part of the world, Central Virginia. I wanted to talk today a little bit about non-disclosure agreements, which seem to be driving a lot of the stuff that's happening in Goochland County. But first, I want to congratulate Hanover in managing to have the application for a data center withdrawn up on the Goochland-Hanover border. I think that their organization was great. Their continued battle and fighting and was definitely worthwhile. And it worked. I keep my fingers crossed that it's going to continue to work and maybe have an influence on others. Probably not here in Goochland County because our Board of Supervisors buried their heads in their pocketbooks. Anywho, I want to talk about non-disclosure agreements. As a summary, I've discovered a couple of articles that were actually written quite a while ago. Up in Fredericksburg, they're getting their share of data center applications. And they're finding that their county or city and county governments are working with non-disclosure agreements. And what they found is that 25 out of 31 localities with data centers have NDAs, often restricting public access to information about these developments. And so, like here in Goochland, this went on for almost 2 years before it was disclosed that there was talk about data centers, even though the county government and the Board of Supervisors knew about it. And they talk about transparency all the time, but the NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, prevent local governments from sharing details about data center projects, including environmental impacts. It really puts local democracy at a risk. The secrecy surrounding data center agreements undermines the local democracy by limiting public participation in decisions that affect their communities. And in fact, that's what's happened to us at Goochland. The Board of Supervisors had already gotten all their information they felt they needed, that they felt was pertinent, and it was all from the data centers. Actually, I think it was probably from a company called Tract. Could be. We did a FOIA, and there was some indication that the non-disclosure agreement that we got, which was heavily redacted, showed that it was Tract Corporation from Denver, Colorado, that was negotiating with the county. That allowed the county officials to say, we're not dealing with data centers. We haven't heard from data centers because Tract is not a data center. They're a data center developer. They go out and do the planning and real estate deals with landowners, so then the data centers themselves can come in. So the fact that Tract has been dealing with Goochland for 2 years, and our Board of Supervisors and county administrator has said, we're not talking to data centers. Well, you know what? That's kind of disingenuous because they were talking to a data center planner. There are some bills coming up that are going to say that these things have to be narrowly focused, narrowly to protect true interests, because right now they're blanket agreements. When the laws are made in the dark, democracy suffers. The same sort of thing was, and that was back in April of 2025. In December 31st, New Year's Eve, the Front Royal Examiner, also talked about transparency as a fundamental right and responsibility in democratic governance, particularly for elected officials who represent the public. Decisions affecting the community must be made openly and not behind closed doors. There are certain things that have to do with contracts, which of course should be and must be behind closed doors to protect the confidentiality of personalities, HR, that kind of stuff. And there's probably certain competitive information that the data center companies and companies like Tract must work with to protect their proprietary information. But the mere fact that they're coming in is not a good excuse for secrecy. And it really is an erosion of legislative transparency, the Royal Examiner says. The piece highlights a concerning trend where local governments excessively rely on legal counsel, leading to a shift of decision-making from the elected representatives to unelected legal professionals. This undermines the democratic process and reduces public accountability. You know, I wonder if the Goochland County attorney, Tara McGee, would be willing to provide or put out in the open the legal opinion that approved the technology overlay district. I'm guessing not. We're finding out little by little about what some of these NDAs are turning into. Of course, this is all rumor stage. We know, for instance, that they want to put a hypercenter in here with, I don't know how many, 700 acres, 900 acres, a couple of million square feet of data centers. And all of that is hidden from us. We don't know what the impact is going to be, and it's a real challenge because right now the zoning is by right, and data centers are allowed under the current light industrial zoning because that particular part of the law was implemented in 2014, when a data center was really usually just a floor on in an office building that the company or companies in the office building used the data center there. And the occasional data center was a building maybe the size of a standard barn or small office building, nothing like what we've got today. So for our Board of Supervisors to completely disregard the safety, health, and welfare of their rural citizens is disingenuous. It's a betrayal. It's a betrayal of the trust. Some of those on the board say that it's service over self. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. This is self over self, self for self. So, support laws that are going to mandate transparency and do away with this network of secret agreements between big companies and landowners and our county government. Because once again, when this is all over, the people who are going to be running this county and what happens in the county are going to be the data centers, because they'll have so much power, even more power than they have now, that if they tell the county government they want certain services over the health and welfare of the citizens, once again, they'll win. The citizens will lose. That's what our board is doing. We need legislative help. We need new board members with a face towards the citizens. So that's all for today. I'll be in a meeting this afternoon about bills that are coming up that are important for governance, for transparency, for data centers. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.